Hey everybody, this is Deedley from the Project 1999 Green server. I'm just making a quick video about how to set up your UI and hotkeys and stuff for swarm kiting as a bard. This is a really basic video. If you've been swarm kiting, you probably already know this. There may be some things that I do differently that you can take from, or you may have some pointers that might be helpful that you could share with everybody, and I would really appreciate that. So, I think the most important things to remember when you're swarm kiting are to first and foremost turn off your logs. I'm not really sure what it is about the client that Project 1999 uses, but when you are swarming, uh, you generate a lot of messages from the spell effects landing on the monsters all at once, and that can cause some stutter in the client. And when that happens, the mobs will catch up to you and all hit you at once and you'll die. So I always turn logs off when I'm swarming. If you try and use Gina or some other parser like that based on your logs, I would highly recommend that you do not, and you just learn how to do this without using that. Um, Okay, so another thing that's really important to me is to turn off toggle inspect. That prevents you from accidentally inspecting yourself. So, you can accidentally open up your own inventory while you're running around and it'll get in your way and prevent you from turning and all this other stuff. So I just think it's really helpful to turn that off while you are swarm kiting. Another thing that is really helpful and I would say necessary is in all of your song casting macros that you're using, which I assume you're using macros to cast your songs that are set up with like stop song, cast song number. You want to add a hide corpse all command at the end of all of your macros. So that when you're running around and swarm kiting, you don't accidentally right click on a dead monster while you're trying to turn and loot it and stop, and all the monsters will catch up to you and kill you. So another thing that you should probably do with your client is turn off your spell effects. Simply because you're generating so many spell effects on so many monsters that it can kind of cause your graphics to stutter, and if it happens, you will slow down, all the monsters will catch up to you, hit you all at once, and you'll die. That's a running theme of this. Like, you don't want to get hit by anything, because if you do, you'll probably die. So some other things that you can do that are helpful to kind of prevent your client from lagging are turn your far clip plane all the way down. I don't really do that. I haven't needed to. You can turn your actor clip plane all the way down, which will prevent stuff from being rendered like from far away. I haven't really had to do that. Turn level of detail off. That's helpful. And don't try and run at some super high resolution if your computer can't really handle it. On the default client, there's an option to, like a slider somewhere, to set your frames per second to a specific value, and I really prefer doing that because it kind of makes things run more smoothly instead of like speeding up and slowing down and giving you issues. Let's see. So those are kind of like some of the settings and things to turn on and off that are important. Um, Another thing that I think is really helpful is to map all your songs to hotkeys, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have hot buttons that do them to, cast various songs. You know, CLS is on 7, and then everything else that I've memorized is not pertinent. Um, and then you also have your movement keys that you need to set up where, for instance, right now I have, strafe left on A, strafe right on D, and run forward on W. So I can strafe run by holding down W and A, or I can even strafe moonwalk by holding down S and D. Uh, Also, I mean, I still have turn left on left and turn right on right, but uh, I can hold down the mouse click button and turn left and run forward and end up strafe running 2 by pressing enter, and then that will open the chat window that I will have to press enter again to stop inputting text and being able to cast my songs. Another thing that might be helpful if you are ambitious is put a you can put your instrument slot on your hotbar in an empty slot, and an empty inventory slot, not something in a bag, but just like an empty inventory slot on your hotbar, and swap your instruments this way. But I would say be careful if you do that to make sure that you don't put an item with like a clicky effect and accidentally use that. If you have, like left and right bound to those keys, I actually do for my other hotbar for using inparse. But if you accidentally put like a clicky a clicky item in there, you may activate it inadvertently. So I think that's really all that you need to know to set up your UI to Swarm Kite as a bard on Project 1999. And if you have any input or recommendations or anything like that, feel free to share them. All right, thanks. Have a good day.